Hi everyone, welcome to Cyber Witch, your online resource for spiritual development. Please hit like and subscribe for new videos every week. I'm Bishop Orley and I've been studying psychic development and spiritual practices for almost 20 years, and I'm a student of traditional yoga and tantra. Today, I'm going to help teach you about consciousness and mind patterns, how to work with these to develop your spiritual abilities, to activate your psychic senses further, and to help you just genuinely be and feel happier in your life. So there is a routine that our mind gets programmed into from when we are born, as we live through our life, and it's influenced by so many different things. What's critical to understand today is that our mind and the patterns of our mind play a role in the overall existence of reality and what we are generating into the consciousness field, because our human bodies are composed of layers that exist in different dimensions. We have, of course, our physical selves, but then there are other aspects of our spiritual selves that exist in ways that we just can't see. Sometimes we can feel them, but you definitely can work with all these different levels, and this is a huge aspect of what the yogis teach in Vedic scripture. What's really important to understand is that our experience of reality is composed from a few different things: our senses and our thoughts, the patterns in our mind, and all of these things can either help us or hinder us. When we are living in a state of not being spiritually aware, of cutting ourselves off from the greater universe and its forces, we are living in states that are very easily controlled by our senses and patterns. There are patterns that have been programmed into the average ordinary world that are designed to control people and enslave people's minds, to cut them off from spirituality and how we are actually connected to the great mind. This is the living universe for which we are all part of. And there are studies that if you look at the deepest cellular levels of the human body, it's actually interacting with everything in its environment around us as well, creating an universal interconnectedness between all things, even in a physical way. But there's also a spiritual interconnectedness that we have between ourselves and others and our environment. So your energy is going to affect the energy of other people around you, just as theirs will affect yours, as well as environments. And so many things are set up in this world to cause people to live controlled by their senses. Now, this doesn't mean that things of our bodies are evil. It means that when we are not paying conscious attention to what's motivating us to do things, we're falling into mind patterns that are controlled by the lower egoic level of sense perception. And this is what leads people to unhappiness. And it also cuts people off from the spiritual aspects of the self, because when you are living life and are aware of what your senses are stimulating in you and how patterns are coming up and trying to make you feel in certain ways, either caused by something outside of you or just within your own mind, and you can actually see that and be aware of it, you can take a step back and realize that these are things that are influencing you. And then you get a greater perception on what's going on, and you can choose how you are going to react to things. This is much easier to do when you are paying attention to what is causing your consciousness to feel a certain way. What are you doing through your patterns in your day that are contributing to these patterns in your mind, to these stimulations that you're getting from your senses? What are you doing that is making you want this? Is it a sense of loneliness? Is it a sense of sadness where you're needing entertainment or boredom because you're seeking something more? You're seeking a purpose. And the thing that's really beautiful about the gathering of spiritual seekers, of people who are the chosen ones, those who the great cosmic mind, also part of ourselves, have chosen to incarnate in the world at this time. We do have a purpose, and that purpose is to go through these experiences, to become more spiritually aware, and to be part of the world to help as much as we can by being a beacon of spiritual light in the world around us, to try to help as many people that we can in our own unique and personal way. So we are all connected to the great larger mind that is the unity of all things that we are existing within. All these interdimensional parts of our spiritual energy fields are even existing in places beyond Earth. So we are here, but we are not here. And it's very fascinating to learn about if you study further in the Vedic scriptures. And so we have incarnated now. It was meant to be for us to be here right now at this time in the world, because the world is going through so many great and amazing changes. There's such a big shift of consciousness, and we are here now to be holding down these currents of awareness, of sensing more beyond ordinary reality. And of course, that is not an easy thing to do. This often can make people feel like they're social outcasts, where you don't seem to fit in with the status quo. There are so many people that I've found from since I began this channel that are also clergy, that are people that are interested in spirituality and helping the world across all different forms of spiritual places and backgrounds. And we all have the same kind of idea, where even in various religious situations, people just aren't getting it, and they're really just going along with like a herd mentality, and they aren't actually helping people. And then there's so many things beyond that that we don't need to get into today. But the idea is, this is something that really makes you feel like you're different, and something is just not quote unquote normal about you, because your mind patterns from your connection to the great mind do not mix in a harmonious way with the archonic forces that are interfering with our spiritual ecosystems, that cause confusion and sadness and hatred and laziness, sickness, all of these things that drag people down, make people try to comfort themselves by getting into these program mind patterns that result in behaviors of seeking various things to fulfill their desires, of mind patterns that cause problems for people, because all the energy that comes off of doing these things affects your subtle energy bodies, and it becomes like food to negative spiritual entities that are essentially just harvesting this off of the status quo of people who follow along all of this. And so when you get the sign of feeling this way, and you can perceive this, That is the great mind of the cosmos reaching out to you. That is your message. It lets us know that it's okay for us to feel different because we are unique and we are here for a purpose and a reason. And all of those things are mixing together into your subtle astral bodies, which are developed through things like thinking about these deep, esoteric, and metaphysical concepts, which also helps train your spiritual body. This is one of the limbs of yoga, Jnana yoga, where we study these kinds of inspiring spiritual scriptures, and it causes a personal gnosis within us where we have that experience with the cosmic source of creation on a deep personal level that changes us forever. And so this is what you want to look for, that feeling of, I have a unique purpose. I don't know what it is, and it makes me feel like I don't fit in. But that's okay, because those are the things that cause and catalyze a spiritual awakening within people. Now, a lot of people who watch this channel have already gone through some kind of spiritual awakening, but you're going to go through more than one spiritual awakening. It always gets deeper and deeper and more profound. So there's always going to be more things for you to learn, and the most essential thing is to understand these patterns of our minds, because it's so easy to follow the program of what the world is trying to put into your mind, of what your senses are perceiving. You're being told what to think. You're being told how everything is, so we don't think deeper, so we don't question anything. And it's okay to think differently from that. And we have incarnated at this time to explore these deeper levels of awareness and to develop our spiritual selves on all these different levels. And the way that you do that is you take care of yourself, you take care of your spiritual body, you go through spiritual training in a way that works for you to develop all these different astral parts of yourself, and that makes your psychic awareness stronger. But it really just starts with understanding the message from the great cosmic mind that is awakening people by this feeling that we have some kind of purpose, that we don't really fit in some way, and that leads us to a journey of seeking and awakening as we get deeper and deeper, not by having to follow others, but by going into ourselves and by opening our awareness to sensing things in our environment in ways that, like I was saying, as we study from the yogis, not controlled by our emotions and senses, and looking at things in a deeper way. And when you find that spark that connects you into the great mind of the cosmos, you will, over time, through things like synchronicities, experiences that happen, and seeing the world in a different way, discover what your own unique personal mission is in this world. So I hope that gave you some inspiration today. If you would like to share any of your own experiences about this, please let the others know in your comments in the video. And if you would like to reach me, I do have personal consultations if you need help with your spiritual journey. I also have online video courses that teach about developing your psychic abilities and spirit conjure. And I also work as a professional tarot reader and psychic. So if you do need any assistance from me, all of my work is in the description of this video below. Thank you so much for your time today. Please hit like to give this video a little kiss for the algorithm for me to help the channel grow, and subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much to my channel members and my patrons, and I'll see you next time. Bye.